So when we're looking at charts, right? Uh, for me, love interim plays at the end of the day. I do not trade inside days. I don't trade the chop. And when I say that, I'm gonna show you an example. So I'm gonna just use Snap because it's one of the most recent examples of it. I love failed breakouts, right? And when I say that, I'm referring to candles that are large wick candles. Like obviously the stock tried to go up here. It opened down here. And if you know the basics of the candle, right? It opened, tried to go up, sellers brought it back down. And this was damn near a red candle, right? I love rejection candles. Or y'all could, from strat terms, they call it a failed two up or a failed two down. But in traditional trading terminology, it's called either a shooter, a hammer, or a gravestone. And I feel like these are high probability setups, especially if the stock has been on a run up, right? And then you get this rejection candle right here, right? Or this failed breakout. This is telling you who's in control. It's telling you that the stock is exhausted in that direction. And the likelihood of it opening lower and continuing the opposite way of the wick is high. All right. Same scenario with Roku when it had the hammer, right? It dropped for a couple days. And then you look at that, right? This wick made a new lower low in comparison to the previous low. Easy day. This is a failed two down because it opened. Sellers tried to bring it back down, but the bulls stepped back in and brought it back up. So that's telling you that the seller or the buyers, excuse me, in this case, are actually in control. And for me, I use scanners that are going to show me when a stock has broke to the bottom of the previous candle and it has a green candle. So I'll call it a green two down. And the reason why I say that from strat terms, a two just breaks either the high or low of the previous candle. Even if it makes a gap, it's still a two. If it's inside completely, like this is an inside candle, I would not want to trade that until it becomes a two candle, right? And I really just base my trading off of that strategy. The strat failed breakouts. Like another example, CAT monthly, right? You look at CAT on the monthly. Remember, base your trades off of the time frame that you're looking at. So if I'm looking at CAT's monthly chart right now, this is a nasty shooter candle or a gravestone doji, whatever you want to call it. That is a nasty reject candle as of right now. And let's say the month was to close tomorrow, right? We still got time in a month. But for this example, let's say the month is going to close tomorrow. I'm assuming the following month is at least going to come down to this low of 233. I'm gonna assume that the stock is going to continue away from the wick in that direction. So I love failed breakouts. I can't trade inside candles. That's kind of choppy. I wait for the two. Wait for the break of the high or the low of the previous candle. That way you could take that. And there's no strategy that's 100%, but I just feel like with trading being a game of probabilities, that gives me the highest chance of success from what I've seen. Failed breakouts, aka twos. I do not trade the ones, the inside candles. And also I find it difficult to play three candles too. So example of a three is just when it breaks the high and the low of the previous candle. So granted, this is a shooter with crazy value. It still broke the high and the low. and I would want to see it like consolidate at least an inside candle again before it continues down. But you know, to each his own. You got to develop your own trading strategy, but this is definitely a failed breakout right there. And it's continuously wicking off the same area. I think it'll eventually come down and try to fill this gap. But failed breakouts, I feel like that's the easiest, simplest. There's nothing too complicated about that. The stock will try to move away from the large wick, typically, especially if it's a red candle to the top or a green candle to the bottom. And